RedShark IBC 2023 coverage is sponsored by.
So we're back at IBC 2023, and I'm personally very excited that we've got Michael Cioni sat next to me. I'm sure most people know Michael, but for those that don't, he's a leading figure in the industry and one of the most inspirational people you could wish to come across. And we're at an incredible time because Michael and his brother Peter are starting a new company, which is, as usual, looking into the future, trying to turn the future into something real that we can use now and that will be hugely beneficial. So we're going to talk about Strada, and we are going to look at why you think it's necessary, what problems it's going to be solving, how it's going to do it, and what the world will be like in 5 and 10 years' time as a result.
Absolutely. I love it.
Yeah. So let's just look into why, what made you feel that, what was missing in the world we have now?
You know, when we think about how we work, we have kind of worked the same way for actually quite a long time, where we get really embedded in these really big tools.
Yes.
And you want to learn as many features as you can, maybe buy a bunch of plugins for those tools, and it becomes your sort of safe zone, and that's your tool set. But what we predict is going to happen is people are going to decouple their workflows from being gravitating around these major tools, and they're going to go out and find the tasks that they want. So workflow is going to become taskified. And the reason for that is these AI models that are coming out are so cool and clever and new and specific that they can do a better job than the massive super tool.
Yeah.
So people are going to want to go to the task to get the result they want. If you only stay within the tool, you're actually going to be working with like yesterday's tech. And it's always going to be lagging because the models that are built for AI come out so quickly and are improved and fine-tuned so quickly that if you're going to stay on top of it, you have to always go and get the newest.
You need the agility to do that.
Agility, and unlike APIs and apps of the past where you would build, and then publish or a plugin, AI is they're going to take models, fine-tune them, put it out, change this, put it out, change this, put it out.
So irrespective of the AI, just to use a completely crass analogy, what we're saying is you used to have to use a super tanker even if you just wanted to cross the river.
Absolutely, that's right.
And woe betide if you wanted to change direction.
I would posit to a lot of people, you use a tool that you're really popular, you use a lot. My guess is most people use 50% or less of that tool. So you ineffectively are paying for twice as much as you need. And wouldn't it be better if when it comes down to plugins or features or functions, you could just pay as you go and only pay what you need, right? And that's really what Strada's all about.
Exactly right. So at the moment, for example, I use a DAW for various tasks, but always the same task. And I probably use 2% of its features, and I don't even like the features.
Yeah.
But I'm just used to the environment, so that's why I do it.
Yeah.
So it's familiarity. So what you need is something that's going to give you the confidence to step beyond that walled garden.
Yep.
And pick and choose from the best of now.
That's exactly right. Yeah.
And build a bespoke workflow.
Yeah.
So we'll come on to the AI aspect in a minute, but in terms of, the new infrastructure you're creating, the framework, how's that going to look?
Yeah. If you imagine Spotify,
yes.
Spotify is a marketplace, and you can search by any type of music or artist that you're looking for. So what's cool about that is you can combine really well-known artists with artists you've never heard of, right? And that's what's beautiful about the marketplace. But then you can put them into a playlist, and you can listen to them and mix them together. Strada is sort of like that in that you can go and search the marketplace for different types of AI models that do different tasks, but then you can combine them together so that you can strike together or staple together a number of tasks so that when you shoot your asset, it actually goes through all the steps and it ends going through all the different, unique elements you did. Plus, you can connect to virtually any cloud. We are totally cloud agnostic. Strada is not a cloud. You don't need another cloud. What we're doing instead is we're allowing people to go to the cloud or hard drive that they want to, and we're just sort of another delivery. We can deliver to that, which also means you can deliver to multiple clouds at once. So if you have a version that you want to deliver to one place, and then you have you edit off one cloud and you do dailies off another, then that's okay. You should give that flexibility. We don't want people to be stuck and committed.
So what that's hinging at is that when you think of like chaining effects or processes or tasks together, you think of it as being linear.
Yeah.
But in fact, what you're saying here is we can actually branch into multiple outcomes.
That's
multiple inputs, if this, then that, and that kind of functionality. So you can build a really flexible workflow and put the optimum processes for that task into each slot in that workflow.
Exactly right. And we really believe that the people will be able to take control of workflows faster, and it's really important to us to increase creative control.
Yeah.
And that creative control can't always come in the form of plugins and filters, because it may not be the exact type of tool that you want. But the beauty of the AI community is they're building AI tasks and tools for virtually anything you can think of. And now we also are going to serve as a conduit so that we can get the AI engineering community information and feedback on what we need. Because sometimes filmmakers, we need sometimes the weirdest things, we kind of have these weird idiosyncrasies of workflow or what our tools need to do. And for example, a lot of times we need to do like a logo replacement, right? So we can get an AI model to find a logo and paint it out. Other people would say find a logo and actually enhance it or copy it or use it, because they might be wanting that logo, or take a bunch of footage and say, find all the times my logo appears because I want to cut that into, a commercial, whatever. So it's like, these are things we want to do. Also, cameras, sometimes they have lit pixels or stuck pixels.
Yeah.
These little dots that stick on there. Now we can get an AI model to find those and paint them out automatically, so you don't have to just deal with it, So these are just a couple examples of very specific tools that there aren't currently filters for. And these are going to become bespoke solutions that people can use and modify and tie together.
And presumably people will be able to search for an application.
Yeah. And search is super important to us, because one of the reasons our search is going to be really cool is because you can search across multiple clouds.
Okay.
So if you have your assets on a local hard drive and in a cloud like Frame.io and in a cloud like Dropbox, when you search, it'll actually search all those.
Oh, amazing.
So we're trying really hard to keep track of asset provenance, so you can always find where the originals are. And get
so you almost have a meta perspective on the entire operation. Yeah.
One thing everybody is probably maybe reticent to admit is that we're not really good at organizing our files, and it's not always as clean as it could be. Well, we're not asking you to learn to be more organized. Instead, we want to try to make it easily searchable, so it doesn't matter if you're a little messy. That's going to be okay, because we're going to be able to allow you to search and find it.
Yeah, so you still have the freedom to organize however you want.
Yeah.
But we'll track your files anyway.
That's right.
That's fantastic. And, so obviously there's always, with a startup, there's a first product, there's a first alpha, beta, whatever.
Yep.
Without giving away any secrets or too much detail, but what do you think is going to be the effect of this, say, in 5 years' time?
Wow. Well,
how is it going to transform the industry?
Well, my brother Peter and I come from the Hollywood space.
Yes.
And one thing that's really amazing about Hollywood is they're always hitting the highest quality, and they drive quality. And events like this is where quality counts, because those little details, that last mile matters most. But at the same time, Hollywood will be mid to late adoption, because changing processes in Hollywood is a little bit slower process to do.
Well, people have their skills invested in the status quo, don't they?
That's right. And they have a process and it works. So they're right to be suspicious about change and do it pragmatically. So what we think is we're going to see over the next 5 years, we're going to see adoption come from the influencer community and the creator economy, because they have a real strong incentive with smaller teams. They still want high quality. We can help their quality improve, make their turnarounds faster, and improve their workflows. And they have with smaller teams, so this is really going to be advantageous for them. And over that time, they're going to help us mature all those little bespoke solutions and mature the flexibility and tools on the marketplace. And that's when Hollywood will start to get on. So when you're asking me a question, where will it be in 5 years? The internet will be really close to hitting a major tipping point where bandwidth globally will go up a lot. So being online all the time through satellite, low Earth orbit satellite internets, and 5G millimeter wavelength and Wi-Fi 6, that'll be normal. So access to the cloud will be far better, and the maturity of the marketplace will be so good that we'll start to see Hollywood adopting it.
Yeah. So in a sense, the strategy is get the early adopters and the visionaries involved.
Yeah.
Get them, shaking out the more egregious issues.
Yeah.
Get it well sorted, and then the really big businesses will start using it, and the more that will be a precipitous slope as they pick it up and they realize what the benefits
exactly
are.
right.
Yeah.
We're such fans of early adopters, and we're in the Aperture booth right now, and Aperture is a company where a lot of early adopters go for the lighting, right?
Yeah.
And it's it makes a lot of sense that, it's why I like Aperture, it's why I like Red. These are where early adopters go for, right?
Yeah.
Strada is an early adopters community product, and we're not trying to build something for the status quo today. Pete and I never do that. We never do it successfully. We're always looking for the future on the fringes.
And that's great because it means you never impose it on people. People pick it up because they think, I get that. I get that.
That's right. When people look for those advantages, they're going to find them on the outskirts, right? And so we like the community of people that are, they're in it and they're willing to bleed a little bit, right? Because it's new and they like the excitement of change. It was actually 8 years ago that we debuted along with Red. Red put out the very first 8K large format sensor. And when we did that, people said 8K large format, who's going to need this? No one will ever want this. It's terrible. Yeah. Of course, now it's a standard and everybody's doing it. Sony just released another camera that does it. Blackmagic's got one. It's but it starts really early and people look at you a little funny at the very beginning, but that's okay. We're used to that. And then over time, they start to see, wow, they had a plan, they saw a vision, they had an interpretation of how this would work out over time.
Yeah.
Strada is very early right now. We're using words like it will, it should, it can, right? As opposed to it does.
Well, you're being very open about that.
We're trying to be transparent.
I think that brings a lot of confidence with it because, if there's something that's difficult, you'll tell us about it.
Yeah.
But you'll also tell us how you solved it. And that's going to build authenticity, and people will, depend on the product. They'll trust.
Well, our YouTube show that we do, we are going to be, we create that ourselves.
Yeah.
So we are going to consume our own product. And right now, I use several AI tools when I do the show.
Yeah.
The problem is, I don't like the way they work right now. I like the results I'm getting, but they're hard to do. So over the next 3 to 6 months, you're going to see, actually 12 months, you're going to see us consuming the product and doing the show in the product so that when we take episodes, we'll start to run old episodes through the product and actually generate new results through that so people can see us do it.
You're like the early aviators who could be the first ones to fly the prototype plane.
Had to, right? The Wright brothers were the pilots. So that is kind of what it's like.
But no. Well, that's fantastic. I mean, anything beyond that is speculation because, the rate of change at the moment is so extraordinary.
Yeah.
It's very hard to quantify. The only thing that people can do to be ready for it is have a really wide funnel of expectation.
That's right.
And be immensely flexible.
Yeah, and my passion, the reason I get up in the morning is to make workflow a little bit better.
Yes.
That's been the same thing. People say, oh, you've done all these different things in your career. In a way, I haven't.
Yeah.
I'm actually kind of boring because all I do is try to find a technology that makes movies and TV shows look and be constructed a little bit better. Now, what that thing is sort of changed over the years, but the mission's the same. And Strada is all about improving creative control, using tech for creative people to do their work. Our AI isn't about generating assets. It's about modifying your own assets and making your assets look, sound, act better. And I think that's just the next frontier of this. And so it really is just the latest iteration of a career that has been focused on making workflow better.
Okay, well, I've got every confidence in you and the team.
You do, because it's terrifying. All these are very scary. This is not easy. And we clock 80, 90, 100 hours some weeks.
Yeah.
And it's it's scary to be vulnerable, but it's also liberating. So, when I think about that, people think about, I'm afraid because we have these theories and we think this will work and we hope this will work. We're betting all on it. But at the same time, we have total control, right? Because it's our idea, it's our money, it's our team, it's our vision. So we're not beholden to trying to convince a boss this is the right direction. So we have that total freedom and flexibility. So if this fails, it's all on us, right? Because we have total control.
Well, I think you summed it up with that diagram that you had in one of your early videos where what people would like is like a just steady existence with no hardship and probably not too much excitement. You're doing the opposite of that. You're going to have high highs and low troughs.
Yep.
But, you've experienced that before. If you take a longer view on it, that if you can just cope with those undulations.
That's right.
You're likely going to get to your target.
That's right. And I appreciate you bringing that up because a lot of people have resonated with that and they said, oh, that graph describes me so much. And it was a friend of mine, Marcus Chong, he drew that literally we were having ramen in Manhattan and he drew that on a napkin and I melted in my chair because I'm like, I've never had anyone describe how my emotions are processed. It's so so simply. And I wanted to use that to help people understand this is why people who want to create, this is what drives us, and whether you're an entrepreneur in a business or you're a creator making a movie or a YouTube series, I think it all comes from that same desire to achieve and that satisfaction when you create something, you're just so satisfied.
Yeah.
I really want to help more and more people do that. And the evidence shows that the creator economy is going to double in size by 2027. We're talking 100 million people on this planet are going to be generating content for people to consume. It's an incredible number.
Yeah.
It's so significant. And I'm not saying it's all going to be excellent content. That's for the persons to decide. But it means that we have really, all of this tech in this building has created enough mechanical advantage for those people to create something. That's exciting. And I just want to contribute to that in my own.
Okay, well, let's see. Really exciting times. Michael, thanks so much.
Absolutely, David. Thank you so much.